Welcome to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, the home for financial advice in a language you can understand. Created by Marc Freedman of Freedman Financial, he and his team of certified financial planner professionals will discuss timely topics that help individuals and families make smart financial decisions. And now, get ready for this week's edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial.
Welcome back to another edition of Dollars and Cents live from San Diego, California, where we're here at the LPL Focus National Conference. My name is Marc Freedman.
And I'm Christian Karcher.
And we're here to tell you a little bit about something special that we did just today. Christian and I had the opportunity to speak to a very large group of LPL advisors in the theater that's just behind us. There was 200 plus people that joined us in the theater. They wanted to hear about how we deliver financial planning and why financial planning has served as the tool for us to being able to retain a retention rate of our clients of 99% over the past 20 years. And Christian really got his feet wet. You had the opportunity to speak.
Well, giving me the opportunity to talk about financial planning, I am in for it. I was sold. And so the bigger concern was getting me to talk about financial planning in a shorter amount of time. I didn't have a full hour. I had to keep it a little bit shorter.
Let's leave a little bit of room for me to speak.
Of course, yeah. Marc, you know you need it.
So we got me in for a little bit, but you were the star of the show. I mean, you really talked about our process, and so many people who watch these podcasts, people that, and even financial advisors, there are just as many financial advisors that are here today that want to know how we do at Freedman Financial planning. How do we deliver it? What's our process? How do we engage clients? How do we do it in such a way that we're able to maintain a retention rate of 99.something% over 20 years? And so, Christian, I thought maybe you could share some of the steps that we take from the time a client calls our office. So let's, for example, you've been thinking about reaching out to Freedman Financial. You say, I think I want to get some financial planning done. I want to work with a planner that looks at the entire situation of my life. So what happens when someone calls the office, Christian?
Well, when someone calls the office, number one, they get the best introduction to our firm, which is Jody Deldy. So Jody's our director of first impressions. She'll be the one picking up the phone and talking to you. And she does a great job of making people feel welcome, letting people know what we are as a financial planning firm, not just an investment manager, but talking about our financial planning process and guiding them through what are the next steps. If you want to come in for an initial consultation, what does that look like? What do we need? So she'll talk to you. You might schedule a time for an initial consultation. And before that consultation, you will receive our introductory kit. And Marc, what are some... A big gift.
Yeah.
But that kit is really important for people to understand what we do and what to expect in the coming weeks. Yeah. So what's in that kit, Marc?
So it's interesting that you asked that question because we've been sending out a kit for the longest time. A kit is a folder with what we call a fact finder, kind of like a questionnaire. We get to know you a little bit better. There's information about our firm, how we work, all that kind of stuff. We've been sending this out for years. And I sent it out. I've been asked by a friend of mine to send out the kit to his mother-in-law, and because she wanted to work with us. And weeks went by, and I never heard from the mother-in-law. And I spoke to my friend, and I said, any idea why your mother-in-law didn't reach out to her? She says, yeah, actually, she got the kit, and she didn't know what to do with it. There was just so much stuff in it that she didn't know what to do with it. And that's what a lot of advisors do. They send out these big kits, and you don't know what to do with it because it seems overwhelming. So the kit that we send to you, whether it's in the mail or online, starts with a letter that says how to prepare for your initial consultation.
Yes.
And in that, we want you to fill out at least the front page to our fact finder, which is name, address, basic demographic information. But the other thing it says, I want you to start thinking about stuff that encompass your financial life. And I will tell you, that is far more than your investment statements. What are some of those things, Christian, that we ask for?
Oh, that we ask for. So some of the things that we ask for in order to do a financial plan: a tax return, endorsement pages for your homeowners, your automobile, and your umbrella policies, life insurance statements, 6 months of bank statements. I mean, we go really deep. There's probably 15 or 16 items that we list out.
Benefits booklets.
Absolutely.
And even more. I mean, all those investment statements, bank statements, all that stuff. Things you might have old 401ks. We want to see them. You might have savings bonds that are buried in your underwear drawer that you haven't looked at forever. We want to see those. We want to see everything because in order for us to do the best work for you, and a lot of people say, Mark, Christian, are you guys fiduciaries? And we say, yeah, we are. And then most people will go, oh, that's okay, you're a fiduciary. Well, I want you to understand from our perspective what fiduciary means. Fiduciary to us means that, yes, we need to place your interests first. But in order to do that, before we ever offer any type of recommendation to you, we need to understand where everything is, what everything is worth. I didn't even say that right. Where everything is and what everything is worth. That's called your net worth statement. Knowing everything, and not just you telling us, but you showing us. And then the other part is the cash flow component.
Yeah, the cash flow piece is also really important. A lot of people will ask, how much do you spend on a month-to-month basis? And people will kind of come to a number, and it's often incorrect because you're only thinking about the recurring expenses that happen every month. You're thinking about your mortgage, you're thinking about the insurance bill, you spend about $500 a month on groceries, but you're not thinking about those one-time purchases, the one-off purchases, the extra Dunkin' run. They all add up. And so what we do is, and the reason why we collect 6 months of bank statements and a tax return and pay stubs for clients who are still working, is we try to figure out what you're truly spending. And we can use those documents to determine that.
Because think about this. When you come to us as financial planners, generally one of the big questions you want to know is, do I have enough money to retire? And if I do, how much can I spend every month in retirement? Well, if you don't have a good sense as to how much you spend, it's very difficult to develop the proper plan for you. So we'll oftentimes ask clients when they come in, how much do you think you spend on a month-to-month basis? Frankly, most people don't even think about that. It's just part of their daily routine. But we ask them to give us a number. And how close are people generally, Christian?
People are usually about 25 to 40% low.
That's a big number.
That's a huge number. And I always think it's interesting. Every client we talk to, if you're working, people can name their pre-tax income, their total compensation to the dollar. It's $104,036. But they cannot tell you how much they're spending, and they couldn't tell you how much is coming in each month. But they know that big number, the number that
they
is.
They just know what they make.
Kind of
because
ambiguous.
That's what they go around and have to tell their friends. Oh, I make this, I make that. That's how we're measuring on ourselves for who's wealthier or who's richer than the next person. Kind of silly, because we have always said, I don't care how much you make, it's how much you keep. That's really what matters. That's what this is all about. And we need to help you go through that process, to go through that financial planning iteration. And so so Christian, after that financial planning meeting, what happens from there to make sure that our clients feel that they've been heard?
After the initial consultation?
Yeah.
Okay, so after an initial consultation, it's very important for us to continue to have communication with our client. So we will reach out to you with a letter summarizing what we talked about in that initial consultation, making sure we grasped all of those goals and things you talked about in that meeting. And we send that off to you and say, here are the additional items we need from you. If you didn't bring them to the meeting, the 6 months of bank statements, all those things we talked about. But additionally, immediately following the meeting, whoever was in that meeting is taking a note and keeping it in our client relationship management system, which is a fancy word to say we keep those notes and we save them electronically. And we want to make sure that we are remembering all of the details of your life that don't show up on a bank statement. We want to know your kids' names. We want to know your grandkids. We want to know what your goals are and the big objectives that you have in retirement.
Yeah, and we also have a workflow system in our contact management system that says, after we've done this initial consultation, what are the steps that are necessary that automatically happen in the office so that you know that you are integrated into the office through our system, and you know that we're not going to let anything fall through the crack.
Absolutely. And for every one thing in those workflows that maybe the client sees, there's about 9 of them that the rest of us in the office are doing to make sure we're thinking about the client, make sure we're analyzing each piece of data and coming up with a reasonable financial plan for the client coming in.
So one of the things that we notice oftentimes, people will tell us they have this particular account or they have a relationship with this organization or whatever. And then when we ask for the statement, what they really have is something different. You might think you own your account joint with your spouse. Maybe it's just you. Or you may think that you have a beneficiary on your account that isn't your spouse. Maybe you've been working for General Electric for the past 30 years, and when you set up your 401k, you named your mom as beneficiary, and you forgot, after you got married, to change it to your wife. Or you've been remarried, and you forgot to change it to your new wife or your new husband. There's so many changes that you forget about, and that's some of the stuff that we go through. The big one, is people who reach out and they say, Mark, I've got a trust. All my money's in a trust. What happens there, Christian?
Well, very often what we run into is they've got a trust drafted, which is great. You've done your estate planning documents. You need to execute the estate plan. Otherwise, it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah, you need to re-register those assets in the name of the trust.
Whether that be your house, an investment account, bank accounts, all of which we see people say, oh, I've got a trust, and there's nothing in the name of the trust.
That's right. I mean, generally an attorney will re-register your home in the name of the trust, but it's incumbent upon you to do it for your own investment accounts. We'll guide you with that. So when we're doing our financial plans and we present this off to you, not only are we helping you with projections of can you retire, what can you spend, all that kind of stuff, we build a little, what we call a SWOT analysis. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Something that we can look at today, help you, guide you, and give you some insight on some things that we could do today to improve your situation. But we maintain this so that when we're working with you in year 2, year 3, year 9, year 24, we can see the progress that we've made.
Yeah, just slowly moving those weaknesses to strengths, slowly moving those threats into opportunities, and really.
Yeah, and one of the best things that you need to know for anybody who ever wants to have a financial plan done, sometimes financial planners, they send you out this plan, it's like this thick. You're never gonna look at that stuff. Our plans are very straightforward, very simple, very nimble. We can do what if scenarios, etc. But the thing that you need to understand is that when you see a projection that's handed to you that says, this is how much money we expect you to have 10, 15, 20 years from now. This is how much money you're likely to spend 10, 15, 20 years from now. The truth is, not going to happen. There are too many things in life that get in the way. So you need to remember that financial planning is a fluid experience. There will always be changes in your lifestyle, the way you spend money, and so much more.
Yeah, I mean, financial planning is a process. It is not a single document. It's not a stack of documents. It is the process of, working with your advisor, talking about those goals, how to achieve them, and then updating it as the world around you changes.
So that's our story. So we are reporting to you live from LPL Focus here in San Diego. More than 10,000 people are here at this conference. We're delighted that we're able to do our podcast here for you. If you would like to get our free weekly newsletter that's filled with financial advice in a language you can understand, all you need to do is go to our website, put in your name and your email address. That website, freedmanfinancial.com, that's Freedman.
2 E's and a D.
Financial.com, or go to our website, look up anything else, or you can call us, 978-531-8108. That's 978-531-8108. And if you want to learn, now's the time for you to get serious about your financial planning and investment management needs, I hope you'll give us a call. You can, of course, call us on the phone number that I've just provided, or visit us once again at our website, freedmanfinancial.com. That's Freedman.
2 E's and a D.
Yeah.
I thought you weren't going to let me.
Yeah, you did. I let you do it. 2 E's and a D is right. freedmanfinancial.com. That's going to do it for us. That's our financial advice in a language you can understand, direct from San Diego. Christian, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, listeners.
Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
During today's episode of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, your host may have discussed specific financial planning and investment ideas that are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Please remember that investing involves risk and may include loss of principal. Always consult a certified financial planner professional, qualified attorney, or tax advisor prior to investing to determine what is appropriate for you. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.